My stepson surprised me in a way I never anticipated. I was utterly taken aback by his actions. This is a true story of infidelity. At 38, as I gazed into the mirror, a single sense of pride washed over me. Time has treated me well. I maintained a youthful and appealing appearance by diligently caring for my skin, exercising consistently, and embracing a healthy lifestyle. Robert often reminded me that I was pretty. Yet there were times, due to his job, when those words slipped from my mind. That morning, Robert slipped out for work before the sun fully rose, leaving the house enveloped in a serene silence. There's something truly special about these serene moments when I can simply embrace who I am. I have decided to take a shower. There's something about warm water that wraps around you like a comforting embrace, soothing the soul. A little self-care, too, has a way of lifting the weight off your shoulders, doesn't it? I applied a mask in the bathroom before stepping into the shower. I sought solace as the warm water enveloped me, attempting to quiet the chaos within my thoughts. After stepping out of the shower, I slipped into my red underwear. Red has always held a special place in my heart. It brings forth a sense of strength and passion within me. As I stood before the bathroom mirror, I gently removed the mask from my face, the towel in my hands absorbing the moisture from my hair. As I gazed at my reflection, a realization struck me. Robert would never have perceived me in this way. Remember to subscribe to my channel for more captivating true stories that await you. This tale promises to be quite captivating, so I encourage you to stay tuned for the entire video. At that moment, Jake's return had completely slipped my mind. Robert's son returned after facing some challenges, yet I found myself still adjusting to his presence, most of the time. It was just Robert and me in our own little world, and I often found myself forgetting he was even there. My mind was elsewhere when I suddenly heard the door swing open with urgency. "Oh, Jake." I nearly let out a scream. Jake stood at the door, his gaze averted from her, lost in contemplation about the unfolding situation. "Hi, Emily, I apologize." The door was ajar. I had plans to step into the shower. His voice trembled, a shadow of its usual strength, and he carried a weight of regret for it. When our eyes met, a weight settled upon me from that instant. The towel slipped just beyond my grasp as I reached for it. Jake's face was flushed, and an unusual spark coursed through me, igniting something deep within. "Hey, Jake, is there a reason you never knock first?" It trembled, yet I made an effort to maintain a calm tone. "Indeed, indeed." He swiftly closed the door and murmured, "I'm sorry, but what's done is done." In mere moments, everything I knew was broken apart, and my entire existence was thrown into chaos. Surely, there's been some sort of misunderstanding, hasn't there? But why did my heart race so intensely in a peculiar manner? Witnessing Jake look at me like that stirred a sense of excitement within me. Despite the discomfort it brought me, there was a part of me that found it appealing, as I attempted to find some peace and shut the door. My thoughts continued to race uncontrollably, reflecting on that moment when I stepped out of the shower. I can't help but remember the way Jake gazed at me. I found myself in a state of unprecedented openness and vulnerability. That's quite unusual. I experienced a mix of shame and joy simultaneously. For a time, I was completely in the dark about everything happening around me. As I approached the mirror, a wave of confusion washed over me. I reflected on my own being. My red underwear seemed to radiate against my skin. Text regardless of my age, my body retained a youthful and appealing appearance. At 38, I found myself reflecting on the journey so far, and I must say, these years have treated me well. It was more than just my body. My hair, eyes, and skin still radiated with a fresh and vibrant glow. Hitting the gym truly transformed my body. My muscles grew strong, and my skin became soft, smooth, and flawless. Witnessing that filled me with strength. Conversely, I found myself pondering the peculiar gaze in Jake's eyes as I caught a glimpse of my own reflection. I found myself pondering his true perception of me. What was on his mind, I'm just wondering. How thoroughly did he observe me? I made an effort to push these thoughts away, yet they lingered on. As I gazed into the mirror, a sense of pride washed over me for the reflection staring back. I felt so adorable in my red underwear. The memory came rushing back to me. Vivid and clear Jake, emerging from the shower, often clad in nothing but a towel, in an unexpected moment. My eyes fluttered. Jake had always had that charm about him. His physique was truly remarkable. After witnessing him in that state, I began to experience a mix of emotions too. I found myself reflecting on our connection and developing feelings for him. What began as a mere attraction in my thoughts has now transformed into something that stirs my body in unexpected ways. I found myself holding my breath, watching him once more before I even realized it. Then I felt the weight of guilt whispering within me. Robert. He was a part of my life too. At 47, he had carved out a life as a successful businessman. He was always so busy with work that he never seemed to have a moment for me. There were moments when I questioned my marriage to Robert. Were we truly content? Or had I simply grown accustomed to solitude, I became accustomed to him? It feels like Robert has been distant and uninterested in me lately. It seemed as though he had completely forgotten about me after that long business trip, after my attempts to mend it. The warmth seemed to fade away. Robert was caught up in his work, leaving little room for me in his life. It was merely another evening, indistinguishable from the countless others that had come before. After a long day at work, Robert came to share a meal with us. Nothing else has shifted. Then he shared that one thing. He shared with me that we have a party to attend tomorrow. In that moment, it felt like the perfect escape from the worries that had been weighing on my mind for days. Indeed, a gathering offers a wonderful opportunity to spend time with Robert. When I first learned about the party a few weeks back, I envisioned a night spent alone with Robert, capturing his attention and stirring a bit of excitement in him. But then Jake entered the scene. He mentioned that he has a flight to catch. Tomorrow evening, I'll be meeting a friend. It seems that the two of you will be attending the party on your own. I'll be on my way before you return. This is the way Jake has always been. It appeared effortless for him to engage in such actions, especially when I reflected on how much younger and unburdened he seemed. Robert, however, seemed consumed by his work, leaving little room for thoughts of those matters. I attended the party, yet I couldn't help but notice that Robert's gaze seemed distant, a state he's been in for several weeks now. I still felt the need to express my care for him. I put on something nice, hoping to make an impression. Robert. I slipped into a snug red dress, applied my makeup, and did my hair as beautifully as I could manage. After the party, things took an unexpected turn, didn't they? Even with my best efforts, that night with Robert didn't happen for me. What was his explanation for departing? My home felt like a place for serious discussions, almost like a business meeting. He planned to spend some time with his friends. Once again, I found myself alone, all alone. I crumbled within myself. That night, I found it difficult to articulate the depth of my sadness. I let slip the opportunity to be with him when I should have been. I stumbled home alone. The effects of the drink still swirling in my mind, I experienced pain as I removed my clothes upstairs. The striking detail that caught my attention was the fact that I was left only in my black lace underwear. It felt odd, especially after all the effort I put into preparing for my night with Robert. My anger grew stronger. Your appearance and attire held no significance. I felt a profound emptiness within me. That stirred up some anger within me, yet deep down, I understood that action was necessary to navigate this night that has left me feeling so shattered. I decided to head to the kitchen immediately. Maybe a drink or a smoke would help. I needed to gather my thoughts. I just needed a brief pause to gather my thoughts and regain my composure. I reached into the fridge, pulled out a drink, and poured it into a glass. After that, I reached for a pack of cigarettes and lit one up. The smoke left my throat feeling utterly exhausted. It was as if time froze, leaving me with this overwhelming sensation right in front of me tonight. At that precise moment, an unusual occurrence took place. As soon as I heard a step, my gaze instinctively turned toward the kitchen door. Jake found himself at home. Although I was unaware of his return or the reasons behind his presence, I found myself taken aback in that moment. I had my heart set on imagining a peaceful evening alone with Robert. But then Jake appeared before me, and it stirred something unexpected within me, initially. Jake had made up his mind to leave, but then his friends swayed him to reconsider. His flight got canceled, a possibility I never even considered. In that moment, we found ourselves in the kitchen, side by side. I found myself standing there, feeling uncertain about my next move. Seeing Jake standing in front of me like this was truly unexpected. He discovered me in a moment of vulnerability, standing there in my black lace underwear, an unusual sight for me. I inhaled deeply, avoiding his gaze, weighed down by a sense of guilt. I confessed to Jake, "I'm sorry." Yet, my voice trembled. "I wasn't aware of your presence here. Honestly, I never expected it would feel this odd to see you here." I averted my gaze, feeling the weight of their presence pressing down on me. I found myself overwhelmed with a whirlwind of emotions, struggling to articulate what was inside me. Yet, Jake approached with a serene demeanor, his expression betraying no hint of surprise. It seemed as though a shift had occurred in his gaze. After a brief moment of silence, he gently inquired, "Emily, what's causing your tears? What's got you feeling so angry?" There was an unusual quality to his voice. This time, it felt deeper and more heartfelt. It felt as though his gaze penetrated deep into the very essence of my being. Her smile blossomed as he approached her. There was something deeper behind that smile of his. It was there, reflected in his gaze. I found it hard to organize my thoughts, knowing he wasn't merely a fleeting connection. It wasn't merely affecting my body. It was deeply affecting my feelings as well. I found myself overwhelmed by a whirlwind of emotions all at once. Jake's gaze felt so genuine that I couldn't shy away from the significance it held for me. Instead, I moved closer to him. As he spoke, I found myself sinking deeper into a haze of confusion. I gently pushed the door ajar and lifted my gaze. His expression revealed a deep sincerity. It seemed to me that he was not just near in body, but also deeply connected to me in spirit, reflected in the way he looked at me. In that fleeting moment, I truly sensed the depth of my brokenness, the frustration washing over me as I realized the night I had envisioned was slipping away from my grasp. My eyes filled with tears in an instant. Jake approached Emily gently and asked her, "Are you aware of just how beautiful you are?" His words took me by surprise, yet somehow they also brought me a sense of comfort. "Prepare yourself. It seems that Robert's work commitments have taken precedence, leaving him unable to give you the attention you deserve." He persisted. "And how do you feel about it? You are truly one of a kind, and your beauty shines brightly. You absolutely deserve this, dear knight." His words offered a glimmer of comfort, yet I remained unsettled within. The proximity to him stirred a whirlwind of emotions within me, leaving everything feeling tangled and far from ordinary. As I gazed into Jake's eyes, I sensed a part of me slipping away, captivated by their profound depth. In that instant, my mind went blank, and I found myself taking another deliberate step closer to him. As I approached Jake, he remained frozen, caught off guard by my presence. It was challenging for me to grasp my emotions as I noticed the shift in his gaze. In that moment, it all unfolded simultaneously. I found myself torn, grappling with a deep yearning to kiss him amidst the turmoil within me. I yearned to be near him and surrender to the moment. In a fleeting moment, I found myself kissing Jake. It caught me off guard. I wasn't prepared for how fast it all unfolded. As our lips met, I shut my eyes, and in that moment, it felt as if time stood still. In a fleeting moment, all my thoughts vanished, overwhelmed by the warmth enveloping me, the rapid thumping of my heart, and the tautness of his body beside me. In that moment, I sensed Jake's anticipation, as if he was silently urging me to return his kiss. The warmth on my lips revealed the intensity of his response. As his hand inched closer to my waist, the distance that once separated us vanished completely. In an instant, all my tangled emotions surged forth, transforming into an overwhelming wave of longing. As soon as I sensed his breath, I found myself leaning in closer to him. We rushed from the kitchen to the living room, our gazes locked on one another the entire time. With each step, our bodies collided with the walls, and in that charged moment, we embraced each other even more fiercely. As Jake's hands explored my body, we stumbled against walls, navigating our way to the living room door. There we were, sprawled on the couch in the living room, breathless and tangled in the moment, while Jake's pants lay abandoned in the kitchen, just a few steps away from us. There it lay, my black lace underwear, discarded on the floor. Even though I recognized the oddity of my circumstances, I found myself completely disconnected from my own identity. I inhaled deeply, letting the air fill my lungs, and then slowly opened my eyes to meet his gaze. I sensed the rapid decline of the situation. As the situation deteriorated, the first person noticed the expression on my face and offered me a gentle smile. The gaze he held revealed the depth of my impact on him. He inhaled slowly, gazed into my eyes, and inquired, "What happened?" "Emily." What led us to make that choice? I caught his eye, feeling a mix of surprise and a subtle sense of relief wash over me. I found myself wanting to share something, yet the words just wouldn't come to me. I confessed. It was merely an impulsive decision, and my gaze shifted towards him. I find myself uncertain, to be honest. It was simply my method of expressing what I felt inside. It felt like there was no other option for how to pass the night. Jake replied affirmatively, his fingers gently weaving through my hair. "Is it truly wise for us to be this close?" he inquired. As his hands rested on my waist, the sensation of his fingers gliding over my body intensified with every passing moment. As he gazed into my eyes, I found myself breathless. He inhaled deeply, drawing closer to me with a deliberate slowness. He began to speak as though he were revealing his innermost thoughts. "Emily, I found out the truth, and it hurts to say I was deceived." He shared that he was struggling deeply, but now he feels entirely transformed. The genuine warmth in his voice brought me a sense of comfort. As he took another step closer, I found myself completely captivated by the depth of his eyes. "Your presence brings me a sense of intimacy that is hard to describe. It's peculiar, the way I sense things. But I truly feel your presence. Emily, your presence is palpable to me." In a fleeting moment, everything I felt converged, yet my heart raced uncontrollably. Everything felt peculiar and difficult to grasp due to Jake's words. Yet there was something significant in that moment. The way he approached me gave me the impression that he was drawing nearer. Listening to my thoughts transformed my feelings in an entirely different manner. As I gazed into his eyes once more, I confessed, "Jake, I was alone." There was a time when I felt utterly alone. But now, everything has changed so much. I'm experiencing a whirlwind of youthfulness, excitement, and a sense of being adrift for the very first time. My voice trembled as I confessed. I sense that something is shifting. In that moment, Expressing my feelings was a challenge, yet the emotions Jake stirred within me were undeniably genuine. At that moment, the door swung open. A voice emerged. "Emily, my dear." Robert stepped through the door and entered the room. Upon seeing us together, a look of disbelief washed over him, his eyes widening in surprise. In that instant, time seemed to freeze completely. It felt as if time had come to a standstill. We found ourselves standing there, gazing into each other's eyes, caught in a moment of uncertainty about what to do next. Robert seemed curious about the dynamics unfolding between us, his face flushed with a mix of disbelief and fury. He paused, suspending his breath for just a moment. His eyes were filled with an unmistakable intensity. Then everything spiraled out of control. What on earth is happening? His voice carried a harshness, laced with frustration as he expressed himself. In a heartbeat, chaos erupted all around me. Robert's voice, filled with anger, echoed loudly. The walls of the house seemed to tremble, as if they were alive with the weight of unspoken truths. His eyes revealed a deep well of anger and sorrow. "What on earth is happening?" he inquired, but soon after. It wasn't really the question that troubled him. It was the intensity of his anger and the bitterness etched on his face. With trembling hands, he fixed his gaze on Jake and pointed at him. He urged her to depart from this place immediately. "This house no longer feels like your place. She is my wife. She is your mother. It was unwise to involve her in this situation. What on earth were you thinking? How is it possible that you both could be indifferent to my feelings?" I found myself at a loss for words. I was utterly taken aback, though my eyes brimmed with tears. I held back the urge to cry in that moment. Robert pointed fingers at me, casting me as the source of all the problems. What was it I intended to express? Am I truly capable of handling his anger? What is it that troubles you? "Emily, what on earth have you done?" Robert continued on his path, unwavering. "What have I done to deserve this from you? How can anyone find peace with this situation? They experience the profound loss of both their husband and son. You deceived me." All the while meeting my gaze, I felt shattered within, yet silence held my tongue captive. I felt the tears streaming down my cheeks. I felt an overwhelming sadness, yet I found it impossible to open up and share my feelings. It felt as though change was an impossible dream. I was aware of that. Robert raised his voice, pleading. "Oh, come on, please just go. It seems that your presence here is no longer desired." It felt as though we were being ushered out, almost against our will. I cast my gaze upon Jake. Silence hung between us, yet an unspoken understanding lingered. We were both lost in our own confusion. As the moment drew to a close, Jake turned to me and said, "It's time to go." I responded affirmatively, "It's time to move on from here." As we stepped outside, the tears flowed endlessly. The pain was so deep that tears wouldn't come. Weighed down by the heavy burden of guilt I carried, thoughts were swirling around in my mind. I found myself lost, unsure of my next steps or the path ahead. Time seemed to slip away in an instant. I acted impulsively, without considering the consequences. I found myself adrift in the chaos unfolding around me. Being with Jake was a heavy burden, as the weight of my actions and the pain I caused him lingered in my heart. "How did I manage to accomplish this?" I murmured softly, my face buried in my hands, tears streaming down as I let the sorrow wash over me. What did I share with Robert? In what ways did I deceive him with every step? The weight of regret deepened. I found myself lost, unsure of the right path, hoping these emotions would simply fade with time, though Jake has gone. His departure sparked a flicker of hope within me, however fleeting it may have been. Please, take action immediately. As I watched him leave, I whispered to myself, Now everything is going to change for me. I took another step into the future, even in the shadows. Solitude brought me a sense of comfort in that moment of pause. I inhaled deeply and felt a surge of strength within me. I was determined to overcome this. I would consistently return to my true self. It seems like the cycle is set to start anew, if you've made it this far. You must be truly engaged with the tale unfolding before you. It's important to pay attention to everything that's being shared with you. Remember to share your thoughts on the story. Follow the account and enable notifications. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so let's chat in the comments.